Welcome money makers. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how you can create some really clean and professional animated videos like these.
Master Sage, I find myself trapped in the monotony of my weaving. Each day feels like the last.
And for proof of concept, check out this brand new channel amassing thousands of views. And this isn't the only one. There's several channels like this popping up all over YouTube. So let's take a look at a short clip from this channel that's doing extremely well.
There lived a young boy named Koji. Koji was always curious about the world around him and sought answers to life's big questions. One day he heard about the wise Zen master who lived atop the tallest hill in the village.
And as you can see, these videos are basically just still images cut together with transitions, a little bit of movement, and subtitles. I think we can do better, and I do believe the key to this type of channel success is having a good topic and great storylines. And we're going to be taking this concept a step farther, having our characters talking and animated. So let's get started. My process begins by scoping out the competition, finding videos that are similar to what I want to create that are doing exceptionally well. And if you have the time, I would suggest watching a few of these videos taking notes, considering what makes them so engaging and valuable to the viewers. But if you don't have time for all of that, no worries. Just go down to the Share tab here, copy the video's link, then take this link to youtubetranscript.com. You can paste it in the command bar here, select Go, and this will transcribe word for word your entire video. So go ahead and copy this entire transcript from here. And now we are ready to visit our good friend ChatGPT. Now for the purpose of this video, I'll be using GPT 3.5, which is free. But being completely transparent, GPT-4, which will set you back $20 a month, is far superior and allows you to generate the images with DALL-E 3. That being said, I'll go ahead and paste the transcript here and prompt. Can you write me 3 stories similar to this considering the moral implications and educational value? This will quickly spit out for you 3 short stories. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to use one of these stories as is, but of course you should go back and forth with GPT at this point, refining your story, adding your own personal touches, and expanding on the ideas presented. And then after you're happy with your storyline and your characters' back and forth dialogue, you can go ahead and ask the bot to write out each character's dialogue separately. This is going to make things a little easier later when we go to create our voiceover. And now we're ready to get into the tricky part of generating some high quality animations for our video. For this, we're going to explore using Hyper AI. And if you're not familiar, this is a powerful new video generation tool that is absolutely free to use. Once you're here on Hyper's homepage, just click Try for Free and bam, you are on their video generation page. Here you have the options to generate a video from text, animate an existing image, or repaint your video. For now, we're going to concentrate on the text to video feature. And if you're not familiar with prompting, you can go to the facts section here and read through this quick explanation of how to better prompt this AI. So let me demonstrate my process with this tool. The first thing I like to do is go into the Control tab here and set the generation time to 4 seconds. And this is also where we'll be using seed numbers, which I'll be demonstrating shortly. Then I like to set my generation to private here. I'll do that. Now for your prompt, you have all these preset styles you can use. For this video, I'll primarily be using the arcane style. So back in GPT, taking a look at this story, the first scene takes place in a quaint village nestled among the hills of ancient China. So in this case, I would actually just copy the text right from the story here to use as a prompt. Then back in Hyper, I will first select the arcane style, then paste my prompt. And for this first generation, I'm going to refer back to the facts page and copy these commands from here. These are going to greatly enhance the overall quality of your videos. So I'll pop these on the end of the prompt here and click Create. Now these generations do take some time, but the results are really good and it's completely free. So while this first image is processing, let's take another look at the story. Here we have Mei, a skilled weaver, and we have Lang, a diligent scholar. So establishing my characters now, I'll go back to the bot and prompt what I want Mei to look like. And the first thing I'll note is that less is more when it comes to prompting this AI. So I'll prompt Mei, a young Chinese woman in black, and to establish the environment and surroundings, I'll say she walks in a garden of cherry blossom trees in ancient China. And again, we want to use the commands for quality, so I'll open the prompt from our first generation, copy from here, paste these at the end, and create. Okay, so keeping it moving, I'll prompt for Lang, following the same method, only this time I'm going to copy the entire prompt used to generate Mei and only change the necessary words. So I'll change Mei to Lang, change woman to man, change the outfit color from black to blue, and create. And there's one more character in my storyline, the wise old sage. So repeating this process, altering the keywords of this prompt, I'll create the wise old sage. And one important note here is that once these characters are established, we're going to carry them throughout the remainder of our video generations. So it's important at this stage to get the best looking output of your characters. You will probably need to re-roll these prompts and possibly add or take away details until you achieve the results you're after. So let's take a look at what we have so far. There's our quaint village in ancient China, and here we have Mei, then Lang, and finally the wise old sage. Very good. So now that we have our main characters established, let me show you how to keep these characters consistent throughout your story's different scenes and scenarios. For instance, in the first actual scene of my storyline, Mei's dialogue is about her lamenting over the monotony of her weaving tasks. So to generate a scene like this, first I'll go to Mei's best video generation, copy the entire prompt, and this time manually copy the seed number as well. Then from the command bar, I'll go into the options, paste the seed number, then paste the prompt. Then make what changes are necessary to generate your scene. So I'll change this to say, she is a master weaver. Now as you can see, Mei maintains her facial features, but I still can't tell if she's weaving. So I'll alter this prompt again by copying from this generation and checking to be sure the seed number is maintained, then changing the prompt to say, she is masterfully weaving a tapestry. And there you go. Now we can see that Mei is weaving. And this is the basic idea. Copy the prompts from your best generations as well as their seed numbers. Then make whatever minor changes are necessary to change the environment and the actions of your characters. So let me show you again. This time we'll work with Lang and I'll get into a little more depth. So again, copying from the last generation of Lang, the seed number and prompt, then making my changes. I want this generation to represent Lang as a scholar, so I'll prompt, he's in a study. And while this is generating, let me grab this prompt again and give it a little depth of field by adding full body shot at the beginning of the prompt. Then again, while this one is generating, let me change the environment. So I'll copy the prompt, check the seed number, then this time change to say, he's walking in a garden of cherry blossom trees. So checking these generations out, you can see that we've managed to maintain our characters in different scenarios. Excellent. So I'll continue on this way for the old wise man in my story, copying from the best generations, the seed number and prompt, making small alterations to change the action and environments for my scenes. Alright, so now that we have a few good generations to work with, and we've covered the basics of scene generation and maintaining consistent characters, let's jump into the process of making these characters talk. To get this done, we're going to be using a locally installed app called Facefusion. And don't worry, with the advance of artificial intelligence, this process has become super simple. So first search and download the app spelled Pinokio. Then once installed and you're on their homepage here, just click the Discover tab, and from here you can type in the search bar Facefusion, then enter. This is going to bring up the latest version, which at the time of this recording is 2.5.1. So I'll select this, then download again from the pop-up. After this runs, you'll be greeted with a Facefusion's actual install page. So go ahead and install from here, then once this installation is complete, we can select Done and proceed to launch the application. This is going to download your server, and once this process is finished, finally you'll be able to open session. So first I'll explain the settings here, and then we'll go create our source file and target file. Alright, so we're not going to use the face swapper for this demonstration, so I'll uncheck this and instead check the lip syncer as well as the face enhancer. And now pretty much all of the rest of these settings can be left on their default, with the exception of the execution providers. If you happen to have a nice NVIDIA GPU, then I would recommend using the CUDA setting and bumping the execution thread count up to between 10 and 15 to speed up the process. Otherwise, leave this set to CPU and you're ready to go. Alright, so the source file in this case is going to be our voiceover for our character. To create this voiceover, I'm going to be demonstrating using another free app called Augie. And you can find links to all the resources used in this video in the description. Here in Augie, you're going to want to go to Create, then select I have a script that I want to turn into a video. Here it's going to ask you to input your script. So we'll go back to ChatGPT, and since we isolated our character's dialogue, you can simply copy from here the first bit of your character's script. Then I'll go ahead and paste this back into Augie, then search through their voiceovers, finding one that suits my character. So after listening to a few of these, I decided to use Sarah for Mei's voice. Then once you've made your choice, you can preview your script here to be sure you like it. And I'll say sounds good. Then next to OK the landscape orientation, which can also be changed later. And finally, you can check this box and create. Then once the video is finished generating, just click the tab and you'll be greeted with this pop-up. Just hit let's go and this is the final product. So I'll play this and download from here.
Trapped in the monotony of my weaving. Each day feels like the last.
Now our source input for Facefusion needs to be an MP3, and this download being a video is in an MP4 format. So at this point, we need to jump into our video editor to extract the audio from this video. And I'm going to be demonstrating using CapCut's desktop version. And this is also where we'll put the entire video together. Here, I'll start by creating a new project. And once I have my timeline open, I'll go to import and find the video generated from Augie. Once imported, you can pop it on the timeline with the plus icon or by dragging and dropping. Then you can right click and extract audio. And I don't need this video, so I'll go ahead and delete it. And now you're ready to export this audio. So I'll go to export, then uncheck the video tab, rename the file and export. Finally, we're ready to use this download back in Facefusion. So here on the app, I'll click the source box to import this new audio file. Once imported, you can preview here to make sure this is the right file. And now we're ready to create the target file. So in this case, the audio is 8 seconds long, so I need at least 8 seconds of video. And I have had my audio get cut short using video clips that are the exact same length, so be sure to make your video clips just a little bit longer than your audio clips. So now going back to Hyper, I'm going to use this generation as our starting point. Downloading this and again importing back to CapCut. Once here, I'm going to do two things. First, I'll show you an easy way to get rid of the watermark, then how to extend this clip to just beyond the 8 seconds. So dropping this clip onto the timeline, you can see right now it is 4 seconds long. And I'm going to shorten this even farther because I don't like the way her chin dips down so far at the end of this clip. So I'll drag the end of the clip here to where her head movement looks good. Then to get rid of the watermark, select your clip, hold Alt and drag straight up to duplicate, one on top of the other, like this. Then making sure the top clip is selected, I'll go to the mask option here, then adjust the size to just bigger than your watermark and drag this to a portion that matches the background. Then I also feather the edge of this mask to between 5 and 7. And now you want to go back to your basic controls and move this to cover the watermark. And then you can go ahead and highlight these clips, right click and create a compound clip. Then I'm going to go to the speed setting here and stretch this clip to just beyond 4 seconds long. Now again, I'm going to hold Alt and duplicate this compound clip, this time dragging it to the right. Then to make this clip flow right into the next, I will reverse the direction with this little reverse icon here. And now these two clips will play seamlessly as one, and we have just over 8 seconds of video to work with. So at this point, you're ready to download this by exporting only the video portion. Alright, now we can head back to Facefusion and import this as our target video. And if all is well, your face will show up in the face reference box here, as well as the preview box. So everything looks good, and now I'm ready to start the process. With my setup, this took just over a minute and a half to complete. Now let me download this and take it back into CapCut to show you the results. So I'll pop this new talking head video onto the timeline here, expand the screen and have a look.
Master Sage, I find myself trapped in the monotony of my weaving. Each day feels like the last, and I yearn for something more.
How cool is that? For a 100% free downloadable app with unlimited usage, I will take results like this all day. So let's quickly recap. We've generated a script in ChatGPT. We've learned to use Hyper AI to generate our scenes, keeping the characters consistent throughout. We've covered generating the voiceovers for our characters using Augie. We've learned how to combine our voiceovers with the video generations from Hyper to create our talking head animations. So now I'm going to skip ahead, continuing with the tools and techniques covered, generating the remainder of the clips and footage needed to complete this short animated video. Okay, so after about 40 minutes, I have all the footage and voiceover tracks imported to CapCut, and we are finally ready to put this all together. So the first thing I'll do is highlight all the clips used to generate our talking head videos. Then hit backspace to delete these and give ourselves a clean timeline. Then I'll start by adding the narration to the timeline, listening to this and cutting where necessary to insert each character's dialogue. And once my entire story is on the timeline, I'll manually drag the talking head video clips off the main track so I can highlight the entire narration. Then I'll extract the audio from this and delete the video portion. Then I'll go ahead and highlight all of the video clips at once and drag them down to the main timeline. And now I'm simply going to continue to listen to this from the beginning, adding the video generations from Hyper over the corresponding script as I go. So let me speed up time a bit, and there, I've laid out this entire timeline. Okay, now let's get into some editing techniques that will help you take these videos to the next level. The first technique I want to show you is how to combine scenes like this one here. This is super easy to do. Simply drop one clip on top of the other, then with the top clip selected, go to the mask option here and use the horizontal mask. Now if I click the little circle icon and drag up or down, this will spin the cut line 90 degrees or wherever you like. Then to adjust where the clip is cut, just click on the line itself and drag this left or right. Finally, to fade this hard cut line, just slide these little double arrow icon here, and then by going back to the basic controls, you can click on the screen and drag this to where you like. And there you go. As you can see, the cut line has blended perfectly and these two scenes now look like one. Alright, the next technique I want to cover is cutting out your characters to overlay them in different backgrounds, like I've done in this scene here. So let me undo this compound clip and show you what I've got going on here. As you can see, this is actually 4 clips combined. I have the background and my 3 main character clips with their backgrounds removed. So let me just delete this image and repeat the process to show you how easy this is to remove the backgrounds around your characters. Finding the original clip, I'll drag this onto the timeline and drop it on top of the others. Then to match the length, I'll go up to the speed tab so I can drag this out to the end of the clips. Then back under the video tab, I'll select remove background, then use the auto removal tool. This will quickly isolate the characters from the background of your video. Now you can resize your clip by dragging from these little corner handles. Then to position where you like, click anywhere on the image and drag it into place. And in this case, I think my character should be reversed, so I'll use the mirror tool from the toolbar here and flip the image. Then I also have some flowers left from the background here, so I'll go to the resize tool and crop in around my character to get rid of these. Also, if you go back to the basic controls, then scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the layers tabs here. These will allow you to push your characters to the front or back of the clip. As you can see on layers 1 and 2, my character May is behind Lang here, so I want her on layer 3, all the way to the front. And from here you can easily click on any of your characters and change their layers like so. Then once your scene looks good, you can go ahead and highlight all 4 of the clips, then right-click and create a compound clip. This will allow you to add a transition from this clip to the next without issues. Alright, now let's get into another useful editing technique called keyframing. Take this clip of Lang for instance. I'd like to make him slowly zoom out over the entire length of this clip, so I'll set my cursor right to the beginning of the clip, being sure it's selected and visible in the display window. Then I'll zoom in by dragging the scale up to about 135. And I'm also going to click my image and adjust the height and center it from here. Now I'll go to the top keyframe here and select this, which will lock this position throughout the entire clip. Then I'll drag the cursor all the way to the end of the clip, and to make sure it's visible on the display window, I'll tap the left arrow on my keyboard, which will shift my cursor 1 frame left. From here, just scale out and adjust to where you would like the zoom to stop, and it will automatically set the keyframes this time. So now when you play this, it has a nice slow zoom out effect. And that's the basics of keyframing. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed up time again using the techniques covered in this video, as well as adding simple transitions like slides, zooms, and fades to complete this video. And I did cheat a bit using Hyper to generate this scene here with both May and Lang walking together. Here's the prompt I used, and the reason I didn't try to show you how to prompt for multiple characters in your video generations is because I was largely unsuccessful with my attempts. So everything that's been done with this video thus far has been done with CapCut's free tools. But if you want to step it up a notch, you'll need to subscribe to CapCut Pro. And don't worry, if you use the link in the description of the video, you'll be able to get 7 free days of CapCut's Pro features by simply downloading their app. I primarily enjoy using their enhancement features, voice enhancement, image enhancement, etc. And their most powerful tool, in my opinion, is the auto captioning tool. You can see me using it in the video here. Super simple with excellent results. So I hope everyone has found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. Thanks everybody, stay safe, and have a blessed day. Oh yeah, and here's the final product.
In a quaint village nestled amidst the rolling hills of ancient China, there lived 2 friends, Mei, a skilled weaver, and Liang, a diligent scholar. Despite their differing occupations, they shared a deep bond and often sought advice from the village elder, a wise sage known for his profound insights. Mei lamented the repetitive nature of her weaving tasks, her voice tinged with frustration and longing.
Master Sage, I find myself trapped in the monotony of my weaving. Each day feels like the last, and I yearn for something more.
Liang's words echoed Mei's sentiments, reflecting his own dissatisfaction with their current circumstances.
Indeed, Master Sage, and I too feel confined within the limits of our humble village. There are so few opportunities for intellectual growth and discovery here.
Only a change of perspective.
The sage's response hung in the air, enigmatic yet laden with wisdom. Mei and Liang exchanged curious glances, wondering at its meaning.
A change of perspective. What could that mean?
Perhaps we've been looking at our situations all wrong. Maybe there's a new way to approach our work and our lives.
You're right, Liang. Maybe it's time we saw things differently.
Puzzled yet intrigued, they bid farewell to the sage and set out to discover what new perspectives awaited them. Years later, Mei and Liang reunited in their village square, their paths diverging yet intertwining once more. As they exchanged tales of their adventures, they marveled at how a simple shift in perspective had led them both to success and enlightenment.